Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world." And it is. I have no argument against that. Education is truly extraordinary and it alone can create a massive impact. However, it's being tortured and abused by our school systems. We are taught by experience to dislike general and new things, when in reality, we should love the idea of learning. The school system kills creativity, individuality, and is intellectually abusive. It's always said, everyone is different. Don't compare yourself. No two brains are similar. Then tell me why we have one teacher teaching 20 students the same thing in the same way to kids who have different strengths, different weaknesses, different gifts, different needs, different dreams. Now that's horrific. Plus our success is dependent on the same score. Okay, I understand we have target grades and you should try to get your target and nobody else's. But it's hard to think like that when you need A's to get somewhere in life. And you might be reaching your target, but that's only a D in reality. And let's be real, in society that is not seen as succeeding. But you were told you need to work to your best ability, even if that means getting a D. Because you know what? At least you tried. This takes me on to the point of tests. Yes, they're set to see where we are with the topic, but we're given a time limit, yet everyone works at different speeds. A mark that determines whether we fail or pass, and a mark scheme that gives us a set of answers with specific keywords that we must use to get correct, even if our other answer was. What happens to everyone thinks differently? Besides this flawed way of testing the intelligence of teenagers and kids, we also approach education as a whole, instead of recognizing and valuing that every person is unique. For example, every education system around the world views art, music, drama, the creative classes as a little part of their curriculum and emphasizes the importance of maths and drama. Now, I'm not going to dismiss maths, sciences, languages as unimportant, but do we really need 6 billion mathematicians in the world? No. Some people are born actors, poets, dancers, but we punch them out of that with arguments saying they'll never be able to earn a living doing that. A quote was once said, "A lot of highly talented, brilliant people think that they are not, because what they're good at is not valued at school." Not everyone can paint, dance, act, or do sports, but if you can't calculate X, everybody loses their mind. Now, I'm fully aware being an actor or a painter adds less economic value than an engineer, but trying to fit a square person in a round hole is a poor solution. Sure, math is important, but no more than art, music, drama. Let's give every gift a chance. Seth Godin says, "The sole intent of the education system was to train people to willing to work in a factory." And it is. We sit in rows, raise our hands, have to look nice and neat, we get a short break to eat, we have bells, we follow instructions, and we spend 8 hours a day being told what to think. Children don't like school because in school we are not free. Yes, school is preparing us children for a job, but it should be preparing us for life and important issues we may face. However, those concepts are completely neglected during our education, leaving it to us to figure out all on our own. There are no friendship classes, no classes that teach you how to pay tax or raise money and how to spend it. No classes that teach you how to buy a house or raise a child. No classes that teach you about time management or how to cope with failure. No classes that teach you about mental health issues or how to talk someone out of suicide or figure out what is important. Knowing how to do those things is what messes people up in life, not whether they know algebra or can analyze literature. About 15% average of our lives is spent in school, so this time needs to be used more correctly. Now, it might seem like I'm dissing teachers' jobs in general, but it's actually the opposite. I never really understood this bit before I watched Prince Ia's video, because we have our heads wrapped around this stereotype that doctors, veterinarians, scientists, and jobs like that are the jobs that grant us most success. But once watching this video, it changed my whole point of view on teachers. Not that I felt bad about them before. I learned, and I quote, that teachers have one of the most important jobs on the planet, yet they're underpaid. You see, no wonder so many students are so shortchanged. A teacher should be paid as much as a doctor, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of a kid. But a teacher can reach into that heart of a kid and allow him to truly live. And let's remember who taught those doctors to be doctors. Teachers are heroes often blamed if we're failing, but they are not the problem. They work in a system with not many options, not many rights. Now you might be sitting here thinking, okay, yes, I agree, or I don't agree. That's totally fine. I haven't given you any evidence that if we change the school system, it'll create a massive change or an extraordinary outcome. Once given evidence, you need One given to point you need evidence, right? Well, here I come bearing some evidence. Finland is currently at the top ranks for education. First of all pupils, regardless of ability, are taught in the same classes. As a result, the gap between the weakest and the strongest is the smallest in the world. They're given relatively little homework and have one mandatory test at the age of 16. All kids start school at the age of 7 and get 75 minutes of recess every single day. Plus, teachers' wages are better and they get the same status as a doctor or lawyer. They focus on collaboration instead of competition, leading them to have a 63% graduate rate, which is 17.5% higher than the US. And guess what? The second leading school, being Norway, has most of the same concepts and rules. Now, I'm not saying for you to drop out of school, because as I said in the beginning, education is important. But this is why we need to make a change. Because while students are 20% of our population, they are 100% our future. And if we make a change, there's no telling what we can achieve.